All right, folks, we've been on these discussions many times in the past, but as we evolve into doing, the research and looking at, the market, evolving the market, kind of shifting from one trend to another, we also need to be very, very careful and mindful and have, a strong sense of awareness when it comes to what are the price targets, what are the best price targets we need to start looking at when it comes to exiting this play, because the time is coming, folks. The time is coming. I mean, amid everything that is going on right now in the market, and with politics and with inflation, with fear of recession and everything, don't get me wrong, the stock market evolves in cycle. We've been in a high cycle, which brought AMC stock to a certain level, and now we are in another cycle, which is bringing it down to a very, very, very low level. But this will not remain the exact same thing forever, because at some point things will reverse. It doesn't matter whether it comes from the company itself. It doesn't matter where it comes from a stock split for GameStop. It doesn't matter where it comes from a black swan event. And my black swan event, I really mean anything that nobody pretty much in foresee happening, expected to happen, but out of the blue, it just happens, and as a consequence, causes the price to start rising and soaring again, causing the short squeeze we are all waiting for that to happen. Now, when that happens, there will be so much volatility that you can't even start to think about, because we've never been there before in the past. All right, I'm not talking about a $5 to $10 swings. I'm talking about maybe 50, 100, maybe possibly hundreds. Like one morning you wake up and the stock is trading at 500. The next day you wake up and the stock might be trading at 300. All right, so I don't want you guys to be totally you know, um, like totally lost, because some people will be lost. In order not to be lost, you need to have a plan. And the exit strategy is the plan. I've been talking, in this channel for months now. Now, here's the thing. Lots of people have lots of opinions when it comes to the highest price it can hit. I don't want to, try to convince you on holding on to 100,000 or maybe holding on to 500. No, that's not my point, and that's not my place to do that, because every one of us has a separate household financial situation, personal credit situation, hopes, expectations, goals, when it comes to finances and money, especially with this play. Now, my point here is to try to give you some pointers. So here's the thing. Instead of you or me waiting to see, I don't know, 10,000, 5,000, 1,000, have you take the time? Did you take the time and really sit down and try to like write down or try to assess what will be, at what price will AMC be the price where I'm content, I'm satisfied, I am okay, I am good with whatever money I would have made by holding so far, without having any regrets if tomorrow the price continued to rise, even doubling from the price I sold at. If you are comfortable selling at 1,000, I'm just throwing numbers out there, folks, all right? If you are comfortable selling at 1,000, if the following week it goes, or the following day, couple of days, it goes to 1,500, will you be comfortable with selling at 1,000? If you are, then 1,000, consider anything else, is your best price target. Some people will say, yeah, but wouldn't you missing on $500 per share? Even if you have 100 shares, that is a lot of money. And I do agree. But the thing is, you don't have the ability, you don't have that confidence, you don't have that certitude, you don't have that certainty that it will go up all the way to 1,500. It might go back down to 800. That's why it's so important. I believe it's so important to have your price target. And your price target is really, as I mentioned, the best price at which you will be content with whatever gains you've enraged, whatever gains you accumulated, whatever gains you made on the play, without having to regret if the price continued to rise a lot more higher. Because if you do, then you will have regrets. It will put you in an emotional state where you will be either between greed or fear of missing out. And whenever you are in the mixed, or in between, caught up in the mix of both of these emotional state of minds, especially when it comes to money, folks, please trust me. I've been there before, and it's not a good place to be, because either greed will cause you to lose a ton of money and leave a ton of money off the table, and fear of missing out will cause you to keep chasing, 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 chasing without even knowing when will be time to stop. So for me, the best price target for anybody here holding is the price target at which you're comfortable with the gains you made without having any regrets if tomorrow it goes a lot higher. Now, if you don't want to be in that state, this is kind of my the way I'm going to approach it, and this is the way I approach every single swing play I'm in. Not for my investments, my long-term investment, but any swing trade, like I'm buying at 10 in order to sell at 30. If it comes to 25, I'm starting to sell a little bit without waiting for everything to reach a 30 bucks, just because I know it might not get there, or it might pull back before hitting 30. You know, and once it does that, well, I will be comfortable enough in my skin to make sure that I have some gains that I secured already. And in the case it pulls back, then I can take a little bit of those gains and invest again, put back on the table in order to ride it all the way. But I know it doesn't change. And that's for me the best approach of a swing trade play, which AMC ultimately is a swing trade play. We are holding now in the tens, we're holding in the 50s, we're holding in the 70s, we're holding in the hundreds for expectation that it could hit 4, 5 digits without even being sure if it will hit it. But that's not the point. The point is, what is your price target? Do you have an exit strategy? And it's very, very important, folks, especially now that we are kind of prepping beforehand.